Batman Gotham City Chronicles is played across a variety of different game boards. And each of those boards is broken up into many little areas, which are denoted by these orange and white lines, as well as walls and other large objects depicted in the art. A full breakdown of all the parts that make up a particular game board can be found in the back of the mission book for easy reference. Moving from one area to another costs 1 move point. But this cost can be increased by an enemy's size index, indicated here on the villain tile and here on the hero screen. Difficult terrain can also increase the cost of leaving an area. If an area has a difficult terrain of, say, level 1, then your cost to leave this area will be increased by that much. So for Batman to move out of this space, it would cost him 2 movement points instead of 1. Where do you get movement points, you ask? Well, both heroes and villains each get a move point bonus for the first move that they make each turn. This bonus is indicated here on the hero screen and here on the villain tiles. Now, it's important to note that this move bonus only gets applied when a hero or villain makes their first move each turn. Any unused move bonus is lost. So, if you have a move bonus of 2 and you only move 1 space then perform an action, you don't get to spend the rest of that bonus to move again. That bonus for that miniature is gone for the rest of this turn. And for the hero, this movement bonus can actually be decreased if they're carrying too much stuff, as indicated here by their encumbrance value. For example, this revolver here has an encumbrance value of 1. So, if Red Hood was carrying this revolver, and a number of other items with an encumbrance value totaling 4 or 5, then his move point bonus would be reduced from 2 to 1. If at any point he's carrying items totaling 6 encumbrance, which is the maximum number of items he can hold, his move point bonus would be reduced to 0. Let's take a look at a movement example. Let's say Red Hood wants to get to this bomb, which is 3 spaces away. Being that this is his first move this turn, he gets the movement bonus of 2, which gets him as far as this area here, containing 1 enemy. Now, since this enemy has a size index of 1, I'll have to spend 1 extra movement point to leave that area. But since I have no bonus points left, I'll have to pay 2 energy cubes to leave the area. In this game, you'll notice that there's a lot of different elevation levels, and the Crime Alley game board is the best example of this. Rooftops, ground level, and stuff in between. If you want to move between these areas, you'll have to perform a special movement. The exact requirements to move from one of these areas to another is outlined in detail in the board game rules located at the end of the mission book. Now, let's look at an example of moving to and from elevated terrain. Batman here is at a higher elevation than this enemy. So, although they might look like they're standing next to each other, they are actually on 2 completely different floors. So, if Batman wants a piece of this thug, he's going to have to go down there to get it. And to do that, he has 2 options. He can either fall or climb down. And as you can probably guess, climbing is a much more safer method of travel, and it can be done in both directions. There's no falling up. The cost of climbing this particular wall is listed in the game board rules for this map in the back of the mission book. And as you can see here, the height value of this wall is 2. Which means if Batman wants to climb down this wall, it's going to cost him an additional 2 movement points to do so, which brings his total movement cost to 3. Now, if 3 points sounds like a little much, you can choose just to fall down, which works like a simple movement and only costs 1 movement point. Oh, and if there is an enemy in the space you're falling from, don't forget to include their size index into the cost of moving out of that area. Same goes for the climb and other special moves. Now, falling might be the most cost-effective option, but there is a downside. You see, if you fall, you need to roll for damage. When a hero or villain character falls, they need to roll a number of yellow dice equal to the height of the fall. So, since this wall has a height value of 2, Batman would need to roll 2 yellow dice to see how much damage he incurred from the fall. Roll 3 successes, take 3 wounds. Now, it's important to note that you don't roll defense dice against a fall. A fall is not an attack. Although, if you do have the energy to spend in your reroll space, you do have the option of re-rolling those yellow dice.